In this video, we're going to talk about how Spotify pre-saves and really all pre-saves in general kind of suck right now. If you're not familiar with pre-saves, essentially on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, there's a way that you can have fans pre-save or pre-add your song to their library, so that way when the song comes out, it's automatically in their library. However, a lot of artists have put a lot of mystique around these pre-saves, thinking that by getting pre-saves, somehow the Spotify algorithm would see all these pre-saves and it would help them get on editorials. And the fact is, Spotify actually doesn't see any of the pre-saves. When you pre-save a song on Spotify, you're not actually pre-saving it on Spotify. You're pre-saving it on a platform, in this case Feature FM, but it could also be Hyped It or a number of other platforms. And what they're doing is on release day, they're saving the song to that user's library. Spotify and also the other platforms don't actually know that the pre-save ever occurred. All they see is day one pre-saves. The problem is getting pre-saves with ads, for example, is incredibly expensive. And a lot of artists will ask me, should I run an ad campaign on my song before it's out? And when I talk to them one-on-one, generally my answer is no. Unless, however, let's say you have like a $5,000 budget, like a pretty nice budget. That's a great big budget. Maybe you'll spend a couple $100. I would say if you're going to do any kind of paid marketing on a pre-save thing, don't do more than 10% of your total budget. Now, as I said, this is going to change. I want to show you first how these pre-saves work, because I want to show you the future of pre-saves, which could quite literally change my entire opinion of the process. So if I go here and click pre-save, you're going to see we're immediately prompted to log into Spotify. And this is actually, Feature FM is this thing called one-click pre-save, which actually does solve a lot of the problems for pre-saves. But let me pause my video for a sec so I can log in. All right, so I just logged in, and now I get this pop-up. Tests will be added to your music library on June 28th. I can say I want to add it to my playlist. This is just playlist that I have here. I can have it automatically be added, and then there's just a little checkbox that's going to share my email with the artist, and so then I click complete, and then it's done. And this is actually the faster pre-save method. This is the one-click pre-save. If someone's signed in on their phone already when they click your link, it will actually be as simple as them clicking like that one button, like, are you sure you want to do this? But a lot of the other pre-save platforms don't have the one-click pre-save. The flow will be you click on the link, and actually let me just show it to you. All right, so what I've done here is I've made another test pre-save link just for an unknown release with some random AI artwork, and we're gonna try pre-saving on here. Now this is Hyped It, so it works a little different. I don't believe they have the one-click pre-save, so already I've clicked pre-save, and now we get a pop-up, and I'm gonna click connect, and now we get another pop-up. Now, in this case, I've already pre-saved something with Hyped It in the past, so it skipped the login step and the authorization step. But if I wasn't logged in, I'd have to log in. And if I hadn't previously authorized with Hyped It, I'd have to authorize with Hyped It. So there would be two more pop-ups. So not just the first pop-ups no matter what, then you get two more pop-ups. The Feature FM, it's always one pop-up. It could be a second if they're not logged in. There's a lot of friction there. They're not just clicking a button and going to listen. They have to click a button, they get a pop-up, they have to accept some terms and conditions, and it's just very unfriendly for the user. And also pre-saves, there's nothing in it for the user other than getting reminded of a new song when it comes out and seeing it in their library. So what is the future of pre-saves that I'm talking about that'll change everything? Well, I was on a call with someone and they were asking me about this feature, and they showed me this band that I've actually never heard of. Forgive me if they're your favorite band. They're called Washed Out, and there's other artists that have this too. But last year I talked about this. There's this feature, upcoming releases. If we go to this Washed Out page, they have this release countdown. And if I click on that, it takes us to this release countdown. And on here, we can pre-save the release. We just click one click. When this album is released, we'll add it to your library. And I believe they'll send an email reminder when it's out as well. And it's built directly into Spotify. So the advantage of this is, instead of doing this elaborate pre-save tracking thing, all you do is you just promote your regular Spotify link using a regular smart link for an existing song, and they can come here and pre-save it with one click, right? They're already on Spotify. They can already listen to the singles that are released, and they can pre-save the whole album so they get reminded. But they can see the songs here. They're on your Spotify, and they can listen to the existing songs that are out. And this, in my opinion, will be a complete game changer. Now, the thing is, last year when they initially teased this feature, it was only available for like Ed Sheeran and then I think eventually Billie Eilish. But now they're rolling it out, and I've seen a few other artists like this. Like, this artist is a lot smaller. Obviously, they're still big. They get over 1 million monthly listeners. But before it was like Ed Sheeran level, which is like 100 million monthly listener artists. And now they're giving it to smaller artists who are more around 1 million. The other ones I've seen have also been 1 million plus. But what I'm hoping that happens is eventually they give this feature to everyone, because on Apple Music, it's actually been a feature that's been around for a while. They call it a instant gratification track or instant gratification release. But you get to schedule an album, and then when you go to that album, you can see certain tracks grayed out. Any of you can actually do this now. But almost every distributor out there supports it, and DistroKid included. Like all the platforms that I've seen include instant gratification releases. Basically, you schedule the whole album, and then you schedule these individual tracks. And it's a little bit annoying how to do it, but it is possible. And you can go right to this album, and you can add it to your library right on Apple Music, and you can listen to the existing songs that are on the album, and you can add the existing songs to your catalog, right? So it already has been like that on Apple for quite a while, like I think at least a year or two, if not longer. But now this feature is coming to Spotify, hopefully to all of us normal artists and not only to label artists or whatever. So overall, right now, pre-saves are kind of crappy. Like they're very non-intuitive for the user who's trying to pre-save your song. They have to click a bunch of things, they have to log in. It's very scary and there's nothing in it for them. But when it becomes to the point where all you have to do is just send them to your upcoming release page on Spotify and Apple and all these other platforms, then it's just as easy as promoting an existing song. And it's not unusual right now for a pre-save campaign to cost like 10 to 20 times more per conversion on ads than a release song. Honestly, I would just do none of it as pre-saves unless you're going to capitalize on the emails that you collect from those fans. But when it's natively on Spotify, that solves pretty much all the problems with it, because with the Apple Music one, it's great. I've worked with several artists where we've done instant gratification releases, and we just basically every single they drop, we just send them. We keep sending them to that album, and then now when that album drops, they've been sending them to the singles for months because they've been trickling out the singles. But now they've already saved that album to their library, and they're very likely to check out the album. They're getting reminders directly in Apple Music. It solves literally every problem. So keep your eye out for this feature. I have no idea on the timeline of it. I don't have any contacts at Spotify that would share that information with me, at least not this far in advance. So keep your eye out for it, because I think that will probably change my strategy dramatically. I'll have to see once I start working with artists that have it, if we see that it's actually fruitful and worth it. But I have a good feeling that it's probably going to change the game. Now, if you want to learn how you can promote your music on Spotify and other streaming services using Facebook ads, then check out this video right here to see the entire process from start to finish. And if you want to learn how you can get 1 million streams on Spotify in your first year releasing music, check out this video right here. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.